Let's be honest, most guys will never get in shape. And it's not because they don't want it, it's just because one, they don't know what they're doing, and then two, they're not consistent enough to see the results. And if that hits your nerve, good. Because the truth here is gonna set you free, my friends. And there's 5 specific points I laid out to help you guys get to the place where you wanna be. So the first point is usually for most men, we want motivation, but we skip the discipline. A lot of us wanna feel motivated. We wanna feel motivated 24/7, your teen years to your early 20s, to your late 20s, to your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, throughout your entire lifetime. The problem is motivation is really gonna disappear after probably day 3 or day 4, what I've seen for most people. Especially when it becomes the New Year's, then you start to see all the people that sign up for New Year's, new year, new me, and then their motivation probably lasts for like a few weeks because everybody else's does, and then it starts to trickle down. That's the same type of motivation you don't want. And for the guys who actually stay lean, get shredded, stay in shape all year round, we show up when we're tired, when we're stressed, because life sucks sometimes. It doesn't matter whether you have to deal with friends, relationships, families, the bills, the credit cards, the loans, because we all got loans. Discipline doesn't care how you feel, which is why you have to transition to feeling motivated to feeling disciplined. Motivation is only gonna last you for like a few days, but what really keeps you going every single day for the rest of your life is gonna be the discipline. That cares what you do. Point number 2, this happens to a lot of people. I think majority of people, like 80 to 90% of people, you overthink instead of execute. A lot of us spend time, especially in the early 2000s, I feel like a lot of us always spent a lot of time perfecting your diet or finding the next best thing, whether it's the carnivore, the intermittent fasting, the keto, as if like the new best diet craze was gonna be really the thing. And you want to try and you want to be the first one, or the best supplement out there. I remember back in the day in the early 2000s, used to have all these substances or all these pre-workouts that are now banned because they had something in it. Now there's always like a new supplement and then there's new hype to it as if like that's going to make the complete change. Well, now it's peptides, but even so, I still wouldn't include peptides. I wouldn't include enhancements, especially because we're doing this for longevity. You don't want to put yourself at risk to a shorter life when we're trying to lengthen our life. That's why we're going to the gym. We want to look physically good, but mentally too, we want to be able to sustain that. And if you end up taking those, I'll tell you what, physically you might look better, but mentally it's gonna start to hurt you, especially as you age and you get older, because now you got all these things in the back of your mind that keep coming forward and you keep reliving the past, which could just be a really bad endless cycle for you. So keep those to the side. And whenever you do overthink, make sure you execute. We don't need a new workout plan every single month. You can keep the same one every 2 to 3 months and then change it up. Same thing for a new diet or another supplement. You just need consistency, a decent plan that's hitting your protein intake with enough calories. Make sure you're eating whole nutrient dense foods 80 to 90% of the time. If you can, do it 100%. Do it for 6 months straight. That alone is gonna beat more than 90% of the people out there. And then always implement cardio and strength training. Do not do one or the other. They're both very important to your health. Which brings me to the third point, fix your nutrition. You can never out-train a bad diet. I'm telling you guys this right now. 80 to 90% of how you're gonna look is through your diet. It's not through just strength training, it's not through cardio. You could probably get away with eating like kind of shitty in your teens and your early 20s because you're just younger, you're always moving, you're always up and about. You have more motivation. You don't need that much discipline because you're just always motivated all the time in your early 20s, but that starts to change. You'll notice in the gym that a lot of us tend to look the same. You'll see the same like individuals, the same people that go there, the regulars, what we call regulars. It's really their diet. And the reason that is because you are home majority of the time. You are not in the gym 99% of the time, 90% of the time. Unless you're competing or a bodybuilder, but even so, for them, their diet is very much strict, especially as they get down to competition, which is why we cannot eat trash 24/7. You need whole nutrient dense foods. I'm talking about 80 to 90% of your foods. You need to track your food. If you don't do it already, you need to just know how many calories you're eating per day, especially with whole nutrient dense foods. You need to hit your protein intake to spare muscle tissue to build more muscle. You need to stop eyeballing it and thinking that you know it's gonna work out for you, because it's not how it works. You don't have to do it forever. You just have to do it until at least you're well aware of how many calories, how many protein you're eating per day. And the guys who do it transform like that. That's the difference between them and you. Point number 4 is gonna be they quit the second it really gets hard. Every transformation, all of us, as soon as we start to get lean, it's gonna hit a wall. It's gonna get a really bad wall, but weight loss is not linear. It doesn't just go down like this. Your weight loss is gonna look like this. Your mental state's gonna look like this too, and physically, you're probably gonna look like that as well. And that happens because progress sometimes does slow, your motivation might fade, and then life just starts to get in the way for no particular reason, and you don't even know why. But the winner inside of you doesn't quit, and you got to realize that it's going to get hard no matter what. That's the point, is when life really starts to hit you and hits you hard, you have to double down on it. Have to let it know that whatever you want in this life, whatever you're thinking of subconsciously, because everything around you came from a thought and then became a reality. You have to use that same kind of idea and think about yourself and how you want to look. So if you push through those rough weeks, those rough months, those rough years, you're going to separate yourself from not only 40%, not only 60%, not only 80% of people, from 99.9% of people, I promise you. The last point is, you don't really build an identity around it. You kind of just think of it as like, you want to fit in, you go to the gym, you talk to other people in the gym, which we all do, but you make it that habit where you just show up to the gym just to talk, or you just show up to the gym just to grab the smoothies. But when you become the type of person that you know what you're doing, you have a plan every time you step in the gym, you know what you're training, your music's blasting, or maybe no music, you eat well, that alone will just take care of itself. You don't really need to do much, and that's just gonna be automatic. The goal is, when we build an identity, it's not just for a specific timeline. It's gonna be a lifestyle. So when we do this, it has to be for the rest of your life. It can't just be for one specific moment. Most guys will never get in shape because a lot of us are chasing quick fixes instead of just building habits over time. But if you're watching this and you're different and you wanna prove it to yourself, show up tomorrow, do the work, get in the gym, push yourself, and keep doing it until you don't recognize yourself anymore or the person you become. And if you guys still need help and you're an overweight man, sign up to my 90-day Accelerator program, because I'm gonna show you guys all of the best ways to implement your diet, your supplement, and your training program. Get you to where you wanna be lean, muscular, and fit in 90 days. So sign up below, and I'll see you soon.